chance to overfill your brain with lots of great information. So one more time, give it up for Maria!
Hi, Janelle. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. How are we doing today? Now, it's been a day full of your mind. Your mind's full. Things to do, big to-do list. All right, you can play along here. We should have the presentation coming up. And you will have a QR code because this is a little bit interactive. I'd like to find out what's been working for you today. So if you'll let me know, go ahead, either go to menti.com or use the QR code. It'll take you right there. And as I promised you, I will talk to you about the 18 people you need to know online and offline that you need to be in great relationship with. I see so many people still here. Look at this. I've got Vicki and Carl here with campgrounds and bisons and also agritourism. We have here Ronnie, who's a photographer, does a lot of art that's actually picked up in Lincoln. And let me see, I see John's here still. Raul, I see Raul and the team back there. Thank you, Barista. Thank you for being here. Let me see who else is here. We've got Reagan here. David is here, guitar and a bar. Awesome. Who else? Let me see, Leslie is here with Auburn Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Leslie, for being here. Sophia is back here with the wonderful, wonderful biscottis. And then also, let me see, I saw Cassia come pick up and she won something, right? So if you stay to the end, you get to be a winner. So what's your big takeaway from today? I would like to know what you learned from today because you spent a tremendous amount of time here learning and absorbing, but none of that is good unless you actually apply this. So what have you learned? I see somebody here has learned how to be found on Google Search. So we had a good session on Google Search and Maps. I hope that was helpful to you. What else though? What also have you learned? Okay, great. Look at this. We're seeing some responses here. Google Business Profile, Google Commerce, actionable steps to create videos. Perfect. The power of social media is tremendous. Very powerful. It is truly word of mouth on steroids. Where to start when you want to actually talk about future growth in the business? Consistency. Absolutely. Consistency is very key. That's so important. Know your brand voice. It's really important. If you come across chaotic or muddled in your messaging, you only have this much time to impress people. And if you don't, they will go on down to see your competitor. So you don't want to waste the time when you're doing that. So now we're going to be talking about how you can make connections that convert. Remember what I said about conversion being something successful you want them to do on your site in your business. So it could be they're leaving an email address. It could be they're downloading a PDF. They're watching the video. They're clicking on that call to action you have on social. So remember what we talked about, that you need to become an expert in your customer's journey. You need to know how to reach them. Where do your customers spend time? Because telling people what they need to do is not good. People don't want to be should on. Yes, I said should. They don't want to be should on. You should be here. You should be on Facebook. You should see us on LinkedIn. Come look at our LinkedIn business page. You should do this. No, they want to be heard and valued. That's key, or else they will find someone else to do business with. Then also, as we look here, how do they engage? What is it they need to be able to make their decisions? Is it a video to help build rapport, for them to hear your story, to be able to have a personal connection with you? Or is it some information of how do I get started? You know, I need HVAC maintenance and I don't know how to do that. I'm going to start actually wearing some jewelry that somebody's put together for me from artistry, but I don't know how to take care of it. So I have no idea. Is it going to stain any of my skin? Is it going to do this? I don't know. I have questions before I make that major purchase for myself. Again, for you, it could be different. Kent, you're a motivational speaker, so it could be that people want to see and get to know you and hear those stories that we were talking about during the break. Then also you can look and convert. What do they need to be able to move forward to that next step? How can you help them make that decision easy for them? And then lastly, how can you keep those good customers that you already have and keep them loyal, keep them coming back and referring their friends and family members and anyone in their contact sphere who could do business with you? I always know when people aren't doing that well because I will hear comments, especially as we're at networking events, summits like this or conferences, chambers of commerce, and you'll hear somebody say, "Oh, I didn't know you did that. I would have done business with you if you knew you did that. I had no idea. I knew you did something about this." So they don't really even know. Understand it takes us about 7 to 12 times for us to hear anything. We're inundated every single day with 12,400 messages. So it's really difficult for us to get through that. So it might be old to us. In fact, often our brand voice is old to us, but nobody has even heard it. So as you look here, Google Analytics, if you have a website, I highly encourage you to use this. I had a lot of questions from people during the break asking, well, how do I know who actually is coming to my site? You know, Amelia, we were talking about how do you know exactly who's that best customer? Well, if you look in Google Analytics under audience, you can see the demographics, the geographics. You can also find out exactly what device they're using, what time they're going there to look, exactly zip code and city, you can get that specific. Gender, you can find that out too. How many children who graduated from college did they buy an SUV in the last 3 months? You can get very, very specific. So know that. As a marketer, I do love Google Analytics. As somebody who's personal, I do kind of hide some stuff and keep some stuff away because that's a lot of information. Also, knowing that in real time what's happening. So I went straight to audience, but real time. For example, I was working with a group and they launched a new product and it actually was featured on the Today Show. So they launched this new product and you could see on the Today Show in real time how many people were coming to their site just as soon as it launched, right? You saw it in the East Coast first, then it went to the Midwest, went over here to the mountain area, and then went to the West Coast. You know, you saw it go across as the time actually changed. But for you, let's say you post a post on Facebook and you put a call to action there. Let's say you put that up there and you see a lot of people seeing it and even clicking on it. Do you want to know that it actually drove traffic to your site? Or maybe you launched it on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter all at the same time, and you want to see exactly what's driving who to your site. You can do that in Google Analytics. You can also look at acquisition. Remember, I'm not selling this. This is 100% free. You can use this with a free personal Gmail account. All right, so acquisition, where are they coming from? What channels are working for you? Yes, I might be a big fan, like you heard me say earlier, of Instagram, but that does not mean that's where people are. In fact, I don't like Pinterest because it's a time suck for me. I get lost in there and you'll never see me again for a couple of days and then I won't get any of my work done. But I know that Pinterest, for a lot of people that I work with, also acts like a great search engine. The Pinterest ideas really are very powerful. It's got a lot of good evergreen content that people use, and it is a big traffic driver. In fact, for a lot of the businesses that I work with, it is the #2 traffic driver behind Google, okay? So again, know exactly where people are. That's not a fan for me, but you need to know where they're actually coming from. Know what their behavior is when they come to your site. Do they look at your site? Do they read and look at your content? Do they read blog posts? Do they look at the video? Do they look at the pictures? Do you use alt text on your pictures so that it's found by SEO, search engine optimization? Those of you who came to the Google Maps and search heard me talk about Google Juice. It's important to get as much Google Juice as you can to your site. And then lastly, conversions. What really is the bottom line bringing you what you want to your site? What is getting you either the names, the volunteers, the donors, or business, people actually buying? So remember, we took a look at this a moment ago. When we first started this morning, we talked about how people search and what they look at. It's not just one thing. What I love about the new Google Analytics, which launched in October 2020 and actually will change out come June 2023 for everyone, is the fact that it does look at the whole person. So if I come in on my mobile device, and I actually have 2 phones, so I come in on any of my 2 phones, or maybe I come in on my laptop, and then maybe my desktop, it still knows who I am. I'm still one whole person to Google. So that'll be great insight to see right now, because you do have to do a lot of tagging right now to be able to do that. And I do know this will help you not only know your market, but target your market. Because remember what I said earlier about if you try to target anybody, everybody, and somebody, you'll get their second cousin, nobody. It's way too much, and you do not have Coca-Cola type money to reach out and touch everybody. You really don't. You need to be very focused, and we have to be smart about how we spend. So you need to know exactly what your niche is. If you've ever heard the marketing terms niche, niche is what you're amazing at. This is what is your superpower. People come to you for this. This is your niche. Your target market, though, this is who you do that to. So you need to know what your niche is, what makes you unique. You also need to know who your target market is. Who do you do this best for? Because imagine there are some customers that we worked with who we, at the end of the day, don't know if we made any money because you had to what? Resell them, reconvince them, talk to them again, fix something, adjust something. But when we have the customer or the client that gives us the most pleasure and profit, now we're in our sweet spot. And if we had 100 of those compared to 10 of the one that's expensive and cost us money, and at the end of the day, we wonder if we made negative $5, now we want to stay with the ones that give us the most pleasure and profit. We also need to understand our customer's journey. You heard me talk about that, but really understand and pick that apart of the awareness level of your customer. Are they very aware? They know what they need. Or are they just aware that there's a product that can help serve them? Or they are aware that there's a solution that can help do this for them. What is it that they have and their awareness, because that will help you know exactly where to meet them and what content will get them to the next step of success in doing business with you and converting their actual connection, that traffic, them coming to see your site, them coming to see you, that will help you convert them into paying customers, okay? Because that's what you want to do. And then also if they're unaware, you heard me talk about that a little while ago, about if they don't know you exist and they don't know that there's a product or service that can serve them, what are they searching for? What are the words that they use? This is very important for you to be an expert on this, okay? So knowing where your customers are at their awareness level will help you deliver the actual good content they need to make decisions. So for a moment, I want to slow this down for just a moment, and I want you to stop and think, if they're not, so this is about your customer, your potential customer, if they're not blank, they'll be blank, okay? So if they're not what? If they're not doing business with me, I know they will pay a lot for Google tools. I just know it because they don't realize it's free for them, and they will believe what anybody says about what they need to do to be more visible in their business. But for you, what is it? If they're not what? If they're not getting their teeth straightened from you, now they're trying to figure it out on their own, or they're going with every fly-by-night infomercial that they've ever seen and trying a whole bunch of things. If they're not buying your beautiful artwork and photography, then what is happening? They're going someplace else, and maybe that person isn't going to be giving them what they need, could be more costly, or may not even deliver. They may pay and not even get it, because we've all come across websites where that has happened before. If they're not coming to buy bison from you, what are they doing now? They're maybe buying from someone else, and it's maybe not good quality. Maybe it's not anything that even they themselves would feel comfortable. Maybe it's a company with different values, okay? If they're not doing an agricultural tour with you, what are they doing then? They're missing out. They're just watching YouTube videos, and while those are wonderful to see, let's go live life and experience it. You're right here within driving range, why not, right? Okay, think about that for your business. If they're not this, whatever it is for your business, they'll be what? Then I also want you to stop and slow down for a minute and think about how you can describe your business in 5 ways to talk about how your solution works. This is important because we are experts at our business, so we know this much. And when somebody asks us about our business, we often vomit on them. Okay? Because we're just like, oh, you want to know? Well, let me tell you. I see this also on home pages of websites. It becomes the big junk drawer that people get confused about. In fact, most people leave a website when they get to the front page of a website. If they've come off of anything else, an ad, a social post, a video, when they come there because they're taken to the home page. Now, as small businesses, I've been that small business too, who's like, oh my gosh, I just got their eyeballs looking at me. I want to show them everything. They might love everything that I do. The problem is you're not taking them where you told them you're going to take them. Whatever you said in the call to action, if you said, I'm going to take you to the tomato recipe, don't take them to the front page of the site where they have to try to figure out how to grow heirloom tomatoes or how to pick the seed. They don't care about that. They want to know the recipe that you posted on Instagram and how to be able to find what the ingredients are of that. That's all they want to know. Give them that. After you've done that, now you're starting to build trust, and they will go further into the site. Now earn the right to be able to get more of their visibility by showing them, look and see this. We were working with a company that they do, and you probably heard Dave Meyer talk about this quite a bit because he's also a Google trainer, but they actually do cupcakes in a jar. And because of that, they really learned that people would come to their website, looking at their Google Analytics, that they would come and look at the holiday package page. And they would leave the holiday package page just as soon as they got there. They looked at it, so about 74% of people. So that means 74 out of 100 people who went to their website left in a minute or less not doing anything, showing that there's a disconnect between what they were looking for and what they found. What we found is that people were looking at holiday packaging, but if it's not Mother's Day, Easter, or a birthday, they weren't doing it. What they did on the page, the holiday packaging page, is they added a calendar that every day in the US is an amazing holiday. It's Take Your Daughter to Work Day. It's Take Your Dog to Work Day. It's National Nurses Week. It's Honor Your Dentist Day. Whatever it is, now they had something where you could put together a special package, but they put that on the page, giving them more information on how they can be a solution for what they were looking for, which was a gift. What we need to get good at, and the reason I spent so much time at the beginning talking about story, is we need to be able to be good not just at how do you buy or how do I have the most amazing thing ever. We need to teach them. So for example, Carl, if I've never gone camping before, but I want to do it, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos on how to do it, what are you going to teach me to do that? What are the 5 pitfalls that I could run into? You know, am I going to go out there and have to be loaded with off and everything else? What is it that I need to do? So if you could help me with that, you're going to teach me how to be a better camper, how to be a safer camper, how to be a more engaged camper, because, you know, don't bring your laptop, don't bring your Wi-Fi hotspot, because you want to do all these things here, because you really want to get into it. So what is it that you can do to teach them to be able to use your service or your product even better, okay? So you do have that opportunity. If you're following along with the slides, you can just refresh, and if you hit, I see now some people hitting thumbs up, if you like that phrase, because it's one of my favorite phrases of all time for marketing, because a lot of people think marketing is just promotion, and it really isn't. All right, we talked about Google Trends too. Know what people are talking about. Know what's of interest to them. So this is just a recap of what we talked about earlier, but I do want you to encourage you to use Trends, g.co/trends. It's a free tool you can use, and it'll help you really understand how people are searching for you or what they're searching for or how they're searching for your competitor. This will help you get visibility, all right? Because being visible is very important. Now, for those of you that are worried, you're just like, oh my gosh, I took 1 million pictures and she's moving so fast through the slides. That was about 6 things I was supposed to write down. Not to worry, you are going to get a copy of today's slides, and I'll show you how at the end. For those of you that stayed to the end, now you know how to get a copy of all the presentations I did today. Okay? So, how can you be visible? Because if you're not visible, people can't do business with you. One way you can be visible is using, let's go back. Google search. Excuse me just a minute. Let me. When I speak a lot, I have to hydrate a lot too. Okay, so for Google Search and Maps, having a Google Business Profile is very important. So make sure you're utilizing that tool. Post to it at least every 5 days. How many of you know what Google Search Console is? See, a lot of people believe that Google is the World Wide Web. We are not. Google is the biggest library of the World Wide Web. And when I say the library, if you remember days of old, and I'm going to date myself, when you go to the library, you go to the card catalog, because this is what I used to do before computers, right? I've been married 34 years, so I just wanted to, so I remember the day when we used to go do that, and then you'd have to go out to the stacks and go look for it. Well, Google's doing the same thing, except for its little bots. The little bots are going out there and doing that for you. But if you've not entered your book in the library, then somebody's searching for a paragraph of your book, being your website, being your book, in the library, and you haven't entered it. You have total control of what Google is actually having there online for you. But a lot of people I know, they don't know it, because I'll hear statements like, why is Google showing that old page? Why am I showing up here? Why don't they know the new name of the new business? Why don't they know the new address? Well, you need to tell Google. Yes, there's lots of great Google bots that can search, but I like to take charge of it, because with us, small business, we need cash flow. We can't wait till Googlebot finds us. Sorry about this, sorry, give me a minute. All right. There's also Google Merchant Center. Some of you heard me talk about that earlier. Google Merchant Center, how many of you use that? How many of you have products in here? Show of hands. Excuse me. If you have products and you sell online, then you need to connect with Google Merchant Center, Because Google Merchant Center, a lot of people think it's just shopping ads. It is not. You don't need to use shopping ads. In fact, I even like to use Google Ads for free because I use the keyword planner, which is very rich and robust in there. I don't have to pay for SEMrush or Ahrefs or anything else to come up with keywords. I just go straight to the keyword planner. I don't even put the business card in, the credit card. Don't put any of that in, and I can use that to find out exactly what people are searching and how much you're bidding for each word or phrase, which really is helpful because a lot of times people are spending too much money on ads, and then you find out that there's an upcoming breakthrough phrase that's coming through, and now you can spend a little bit less by doing that. It's also important for you to connect all your Google tools. Understand, Google depends and relies on Google. So when I say that, when you have a Google business profile, that's great. Google now looks at your information and says, this is good information from a business. Looks like it could be something that we show on the first page of search, but let's confirm it. Okay, well, Google Ads is connected with it. Well, YouTube, which is also a Google product, is connected. Now Google Search Console is connected, which is telling you the health of your site when the search engine sees it. Now Google Merchant Center is connected. Now Google Sites are connected. All of those are connected, confirming to the algorithm each and every time this information is correct, and now you have a chance to show up on the first page of an organic Google search. Okay? And those are all free tools. Every tool that I just mentioned there is 100% free. So Google Merchant Center, you can show up in the shopping tab, which you want to show up in the shopping tab. You can also show up in Google Images, because a lot of people look at images now, especially, let's say I'm at a shower, a baby shower, and I'm like, oh wow, I want something like that. So I could look and see if I can find something similar, or even better, here in the United States, we have Google Lens, so I can take a picture of it, and Google will sell it. Here are all the people in your area that sell this product, which is great, because again, that's 100% free. You get some visibility for your business. It's really important for us to know also about what people are saying about our competitors and ourselves. So remember what I said about reading reviews and responding to reviews and saying thank you and asking for reviews. So Joy was here a minute ago. She had to get on the road to Omaha, but she told me, I'm going to ask you for a review. And I said, that's great. You know how many people do not ask for a review? They're often intimidated about that. So we're going to talk about that in a moment. What you can do to ask for a review, there we go, is ask, simply ask. People, 74% say they would have provided a review if the business would have just asked. Now, there are lots of places you can ask, but what I like to do, especially if I'm having a conversation with somebody about that, is I'll say, is what I did for you helpful? And they'll say yes. Normally it's a yes that's helpful. Do you think there are other people like you who struggle with this? Yeah. Well, can you help me out by just giving me a sentence of how I made a difference or was helpful to you, and then put that on a Google review? And that's how I've been able to grow reviews. But I know a lot of people get really creative. So for you, are you reading your competitors' reviews? Are you reading reviews that you've received? Because your competitors' reviews are great research. Anytime that you're new in business, if you can take advantage of competitors and what they've done and what they've spent money on, now you get to win. Remember what I said about OPE, other people's experience is more valuable than other people's money. So yes, you can learn and you can make some great decisions here. So we see a lot of people reading the reviews that they receive. Please do that, because that is a signal to everybody else searching that you listen. And people want to do business with people who listen to their customers, and they actually think they're valuable as opposed to just being a number. All right? I see some people are asking for reviews though. Some people are reading their competitors, just a few are asking for reviews. So remember, where can you ask for reviews? Where are people asking for reviews right now? So where's some place you've asked? I see it on the bottom of email. Some do it in a Facebook group. Some put all their best customers into a Facebook group and stay connected with them. We do that a lot with our product-based business, because then I'll even ask them, we have an idea. What do you think about this? And they'll let me know and give me feedback. So we do that in a Facebook group and a circle group, just because it's easier for us to control than even Facebook. But we do both, because they're both in both systems. So for you, from the podium, absolutely. On Facebook, in person, in social, over the phone, absolutely. Face-to-face, you can ask people for reviews. You're going to differentiate yourself from your competitors and everyone else in business if you ask for a review, because you already heard the majority don't ask for a review. What can you do to be seen as valuable? This is also important. You need to be visible, You need to also be valid to show that you're good at what you do, but you also need to be valuable to that customer because when you're valuable, they will advocate for you. No one refers business that is just good. How is it like working with this business? Well, it's good. They did good. Good customer service, good product is expected. That is, if you will, the green card for you just to even do business. But for you to get referred and for great reviews, you have to be exceptional at what you do. So much so that I would feel good to letting you into my friends and letting you say that I'm going to recommend you. Okay, so letting you say that you actually produce this product, service, or solution. So being visible, you need to be visible first, but in being valuable, visible, valid, then you have to have social capital. So let's talk a bit about that because you heard me talk about the 18 people you need to know. Here's the 18 people. I'm going to be talking about a social capital ROI, return on investment. Hopefully all of us in business know what ROI is, return on investment. Let's talk first. Who are the people that you know at 98.6? We have people at different levels, online or offline. Remember what I said, online is just offline social media on steroids. So you have connections all the way around. There are some people that I've never met in my life, but we've done great business together. And all we have ever seen each other is on a Zoom or a Google Meet call, right? So think of that for you. 98.6 might be somebody today. You just met them. You are now aware that they are alive. They are a human being. 98.6 is a temperature of a normal human being, okay? 104 is what we consider this is somebody that maybe you've networked with. So you found out a little bit more about them. Not only did you go and at lunchtime speak with them about, how's the weather been right now? Oh, it's been great. What about you? Has weather been good? Business good? I'm busy. That's always the answers, right? We all have the answers we know we're supposed to say when we're doing just idle chit chat. But when you get to 104, you're starting to have a little bit more conversation about what is it that you do? Let me find out a little bit more about you and your business. Maybe you can tell me who you serve. Who's your best customer? At 211, that's where you can make tepid coffee or tea, okay? So that's when you get to know somebody a little bit better. Maybe you've even bought from them and done business with them, or they've bought from you. But when we look at 212, 212 is boiling. That is the boiling point. And that is when you're both growing business together. So I told you I was at a funeral on Saturday. Now my nephew, he loves those acts, his business is an axe throwing business. So he loves being in that entertainment business and it's axe throwing and he and his wife are just growing it like crazy. And it's funny because he told me the only promotion that he's done, and he is booked solid for the next 12 months, solid, and he just started his business 7 months ago. But what he did is he went to a local t-shirt shop, he went and worked with somebody else that he'd bought from before who did insurance, and they all co-promote each other. When the guy is selling insurance on the TV screens, or the movie screens, I should say, because it's one of the movie ads that he does, he actually wears the t-shirt made from the t-shirt shop guy who has the axe business of my nephew on there. And I thought that's amazing because he told me, he said, okay, I think you know something about Google. I was like, yes, I know something about Google, but you haven't needed it. If you're 12 months booked out, let's talk about how we can grow that for later and what you want to do next. And you really need to talk about how you can scale your business. Because right now, if we send more business your way, you have no more space and you have no more staff. So it's not going to do any help for you. In fact, that could hurt your business if you have to turn people away. So for you, how many people do you have in your referral network? You need to have at least 6 people in a referral network. So referral is the R of the ROI. This could be somebody in your contact sphere that you know. It could be somebody who's a satisfied client. You know, they're really a good client. Clients love when I ask them questions. When I first started my business, I actually asked 6 of our clients to serve on an advisory board. They had no monetary, they didn't give any money to me at all. But I asked them because one was an accountant, one was the president of a bank, one was a chamber president, one was a meeting planner. And I asked them because they helped me know what not to be blindsided by as I went into business. And they were happy to be asked. I always thought it was too much. I'd take them to lunch and we'd all sit around at the little meeting room in the back of the restaurant and I would ask them, what do you think about this? And they loved it. The bank president would schedule all his meetings around that. And I know nothing about accounting. Even though my degree is in marketing, my accounting is like, I don't do that. But he helped me understand what it takes to get financed, what a bank looks at, what a business plan actually has to have. And I had to know nothing else other than ask him over lunch. Also, their business benefits from you. They eat when you eat. You are all in a referral food chain. My dry cleaner loves when I go out in person because that means I'm going to come over and get some dry cleaning done. So does he keep my card there? Does he keep my information or my website to be able to quickly text somebody? He does, because he sees a lot of business people bringing in different things. So he loves to advocate for me. When you look at this, someone you've done business with, a staff member or team member. There are team members that you work with that know people that you will never reach. Have you ever asked them? Do they even know? When I talk to people, a lot of times I'll ask them, do you even know the mission statement or the goals of your company? And you get this blank look, or somebody scrambles to, let me go find the brochure or the pamphlet, I'll read it off of that, or let me look on the wall real quick. Okay? So do you know that, and are you actually engaging the team members so they can engage their contact sphere? Who you've provided a referral for, because people who you've given a referral for want to help you out. So I haven't bought a house in 25 years, but I talk to realtors, and so I've given them a referral, and now they are looking to give me a referral. My husband works for the big grocery company, so we are always moving people in and out of town, and they want to earn that business. Actually, also someone who has given you a referral, or actually anybody that's given referrals, that has been a referral. So that's also somebody you can look at, and you are their best customer. Again, they eat when you eat. Okay? Now let's look at the next. This is the Occupation and Opportunity Network. You need 6 of these. All right, 6 here. Understand, if you're over heavy in one, you're not going to have the balance that you need to be able to grow your business. You need 6 at least in each. If you have 8 and 10 in each, even better. But if you own only 1 in your referral network, and then you have 10 in your occupation network, that's not going to work. So for today, like you, think about who you met today. They're like you, maybe they're in a different industry, but they have your same ambition level. So they can let you know what are some of the issues or the growth problems that they ran into in growing their business. Or it could be that they're in the same profession, and they can let you know, okay, what are some of the things you're running into? What are you seeing? What's the newest information? You see, I get a lot of information from Google, but a lot of times the Google information I get is from outside of Google, and then I go back to the Google team and say, are we doing this? I heard this is happening, and then they'll confirm. But I'll hear it outside, usually when I'm at a conference like this, because I do like to go to the sessions in between and see what people are seeing. Someone who was in your profession, someone who did what you did and has walked the walk. What can they teach you about your business? Do you know somebody like that? Think of a name for every one of these that you can build a relationship with, that 212 relationship with. Authors. Today, if you came across an author, I love to work with authors and auditors or regulators because they know exactly what's coming down the pike in the industry, and I can say, okay, what's happening? You know, data's a big thing. Let me know what's some of the things to be concerned about. Also trainers, other trainers, because they're staying on the top of their game. You know, Kent, in what you're doing, talking to other trainers is really going to help and support you. They'll be a good occupation and opportunity because they'll also let you know, wow, there's this conference coming up that you may not be aware of that you want to be a part of. There are also consultants that you can work with and talk to, as well as members of professional organizations. So for a moment, think about who do you have that fulfills this spot, the opportunity and occupation spot. You need at least 6. Lastly, it's your influencer spot, okay? So your influencer spot is truly somebody who has that kind of influence and that reach. So you're looking for mentors, someone that you taught or referred, someone that you've helped. Someone that you've helped. I always say to people when you're networking, you never know who somebody is, who they influence, or who they'll become. So it's always good to see somebody. Dan Chabel, and to connect with somebody. Dan Chabel, who he came to me when I was writing blogs. I used to be doing a lot more blogs than I do now. And he reached out to me from New York, and he asked, hey, can I get your help and ideas on blogging? Can you give me some tips? And so I helped mentor him. You know, he's a #1 best-selling author now. He is known as the premier personal branding guru, and he has probably thousands of blogs now. But we still stay connected, because I was able to help him do that. And anytime he needs anything, he reaches out to me, I reach out to him. Family and close friends, coworkers and colleagues. Also, look to other non-business groups because people have more than one role in their life. Most of us have at least 7 roles. So maybe you're connected to somebody through Rotary, or maybe you're connected through church, or through daycare, or through PTA. And then also, when you look at this, look at your former managers, church leaders. What I'm looking for here, and the reason I spent so much time doing this, is because I'm looking for you to look at 6 people. 6 people in each one. So for you, think of how many do you have in your referral network. And you can put the number here if you want, but how many do you have? Because now I know anytime I go to a networking event, if I only have 3, I'm looking for 3. That's it. I'm not just haphazardly connecting with people. If I'm on social in a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group, I am not just chatting with everybody. I'm looking for 3 in that group. Yes, I want to be active there because you want to be active in LinkedIn groups. That's how you get visibility there. But I'm looking for 3. I'm very specific because some people will fall in and out of this list. The same thing for you. How many of you people are in your occupation and opportunity network? How many people are there? Okay, when you think about that. So how many for you? If you have 2, you're looking for 4. Exactly. If you have 1, you're looking for 5. If you have 6, you're pretty much done there. Spend time on the other ones unless you've got 6 in each. Now you're good to go, well-rounded. Again, online and offline. The nice thing when you do it online, it turns hello, when you finally do get to see each other, into hugs. And then, of course, how many are in your influencer network? Because you saw Joy and I, we've never met each other in our lives, but we've talked to each other a lot and we see each other on social, and so we hugged each other the minute I walked in. So how many in your influencer network? Same thing. How many there? Remember, if you only have 1, you need 5 more. Okay, so I think we've pretty much figured out what we need to do there. This is everything that I teach about because I do teach you through the 9 steps of what it takes to be visible, valid, and valuable. And today, I really want to know for you, what is it that you plan on doing? I am, I believe, or I will. From today, what is it that you're going to take? Because you've spent a lot of time here, you made lots of connections, what are you going to apply? All right, so from here, some people are going to write their story. So I'm excited about that because they're really going to get a good handle on storytelling, which is a great way to connect with people online and offline. But for you, what is it that you're going to work at? Scale my capacity. Absolutely. Yeah, because you don't want to put ads on everything that you're doing if you can't take on the business. That'll get you negative reviews. Anyone else, if you want to share, let me know, and I look forward to, I will write my story. Perfect. Spend time doing that because when you're face-to-face with people or when you're putting it on your online, when you're doing a TikTok, you now are exuding that. And that's what you need to do with your brand. You need to extract it, which we talked about earlier, and then express it and now exude it in everything you do. That brand voice is a good visual and a good voice. And lastly, if you want to become involved, I do a free 5-day visibility challenge. So again, that's how you can apply. It's 100% free, and I'll show you how to find it. If you'll go here, not only will you get a copy of all the slides I used today, you'll also be entered into the 5-day visibility challenge, and I will prompt you on how to stay more visible and hopefully get you in there. And again, that's 100% free, okay? All right, everybody. We've had a full day. We are at 4:44. I came in a minute under time, even with my coughing spell, so all good. But now, you've done a lot today, and I appreciate you sharing your stories with me. I had a great chance to go along all the booths. I got to try biscotti. I got to talk to people about their business. I got to look at jewelry, which is wonderful. Me and jewelry, you can see already, that's something that's dangerous for me. And then I got to hear your stories. So make sure you share those stories with more than just me and more than just the people here. And I look forward to seeing you at a future MarkeTech and definitely online. Let's connect there. Thank you to everybody. Thank you for being here, and thank you, Janelle.
Let's give Maria, am I on? Let's give Maria another big hand. Woo! Well, I know we're going to do the 5-day challenge, Grow Nebraska, because we learned a lot today. So I'm really grateful, Maria, for all the insight. So it's over. I'm so thankful that you all came today. But Maria has a poster over there on the round table. Everyone needs to sign it because we'd like to have her have the most signatures because she's been awesome. Right? So everybody sign it. Did you see that you're on the?
I did. Thank you. And I even took a picture of Dave over there and says, I was like, Dave, I see you.
Absolutely. So you'll be on our wall of fame
Thank
here.
you.
So
Thank
for
you, Janelle.
and maybe in another 4 years we'll bring her back, right?
Love to come back.
Please be sure you use the QR codes and you give us your insight. I had Beatrice Bakery came up to me and like, Janelle, this is a good conference, but we should maybe have a speaker on leadership. That's the kind of stuff we want to hear, guys. We need to know what you need to help grow your business because remember, Nebraska is where it's at. So thank you all again, and we'll see you on March 1st and 2nd. Thank you.